Lagos State Emergency Agency conducts rescue operation at site of building collapse. Farmers in Yobe State anticipate agricultural boom after disruption of farm implements. National Population Commission targets partnership with organizations to aid national planning and development. I'm Comfort. I'm Mother. Good to have you join us on the news desk at 3 live on Nta News24. And we start from Lagos State, where the State Emergency Management Agency team is currently conducting search and rescue operation at the scene of a building collapse on Amusun Street, Bale bus stop, Orile Igomu, Lagos today. So far, no casualty is recorded. We'll bring you more updates in a subsequent bulletin. Our Nigerian communication satellite, Nightcomsat Limited, is determined to provide connectivity to the 774 local government areas across Nigeria. This is in addition to leveraging the huge enormous African continent by positioning itself as the preferred option. Jane Nkechi Egerton Edehen, Managing Director and CEO, Nightcomsat Limited, reeled out these transformative measures in place for successful attainment on Good Morning Nigeria today. And Lydia Sampson reports on this and other resolutions on the program.
On assumption of office 1 year ago, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Nightcomsat Limited focused on repositioning service delivery, ensuring reliable infrastructure and continuous technology update to position the organization one of its kind for global competition.
It's just clear that commercially it's not always viable for these players to go to the rural areas. You know, if not, they would have solved this problem. They've been around now for 20 years, and we thought satellite is not needed. They would have solved it, but it's not viable to put a base station in a village with 50 people, and you want to make the amount of that base station in 3 years. So it's becoming clear you have to find other alternatives.
With the existing satellite, like any other having a lifespan, robust collaboration with key players for a win-win digital joint venture and public-private partnership, the guests say will be prioritized.
There's what we call nutrient mapping. Take, for example, you want to have a high yield on your farm, there's a need for you to understand what kind of, take for example, the soil structure you need to use in terms of what kind of fertilizer, what are the deficiencies in the soil. Do you have enough nutrient in the soil? So there are probes that talks to this, and those content, the information from that probe can be backhauled to a central location where it can be analyzed. So at the end of the year, you'll be able to determine the yield, because like we know what we are going to in the country in terms of ensuring that we have enough food to go around the country. So
what we've done differently after that now, we've done the cellular backhaul, which we've introduced a lot of partners now who are carrying traffic for rural areas. And we've been able to compete favorably in the industry, you know, all that. We're also doing a lot what the military is, what we call COTM, sell on the move.
Okay.
Now, we are doing that again to also help the military in some key locations where satellite, where microwave and fiber could be in a challenge at that point.
With the paradigm shift in education, agriculture and health, Nightcomsat deploying satellites for access, data analysis will be game-changing. The guests are emphatic that Nightcomsat offers limitless opportunities for digital economic diversification. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
In Yobe State, farmers are celebrating the successful utilization of farm implements and inputs recently distributed by the state government to boost agricultural productivity and enhance food security. Suleiman Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The state government's recent procurement and distribution of multi-billion naira farm machineries and inputs to farmers across the state emphasizes its commitment to re-establishing the state as a leading producer of agricultural products. The distribution of 4,202 solar-powered water pumping machines, such as the one being utilized in a rice farm in Nigeria local government area, demonstrates the government's focus on environmentally friendly and cost-effective solutions. This is important given the recent surge in petrol price per litre.
It's very beneficial to us. As you can see, we are using it right now, more especially the solar pumping machine. Going by the cost of the fuel, it really helps in terms of reducing the cost of production and this thing. So definitely it's a very affordable and commendable program. And we are calling on the state government and His Excellency to continue with this program to help farmers a lot to boost production in the state.
Additionally, the government's mega agricultural empowerment program has benefited numerous farmers, including Malam Kolo from Jakusko town, who has received a motorized tiller machine and plans to utilize it in his farmland during the upcoming dry season farming. Similar to Abubakar Grema and Malam Kolo, many beneficiaries across the state are eager to put these machines to use, showcasing the program's positive impact. In the metro, Yunusa Suleiman, Nta News.
Elsewhere, poultry farmers are appealing for special intervention from the federal government as the sector faces demand-supply challenges. This is coming as the farmers celebrate this year's World Egg Day. Musa Babali reports.
Nigeria maintained the lead as the largest producer of egg in Africa. It is estimated that about 85 million farmers are involved in poultry production, producing more than 650 million tons of egg annually. As the farmers mark this year's World Egg Day, they raised concerns about how the high cost of feed is affecting the industry. The Secretary of the Poultry Association of Nigeria said that without government intervention, the price of a crate of egg could go as high as 10,000 naira.
The above-mentioned challenges has forced a lot of poultry farmers out of business, and hundreds of farms closed down across the country. I want to commend the federal government of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Minister of FCT Barrister Nyesom Wike for establishing Ministry of Livestock and Nutrition Department respectively.
In 2023, the Poultry Farmers Association of Nigeria reported that its members lost more than 30 billion naira, with over 15 million crates of eggs lost to a glut in the market.
We therefore implore all members to remain resolute, unswerving, and committed to poultry business as a better day ahead.
The theme for 2024 World Egg Day is United by Eggs. This theme was selected as egg can be found in cuisines across the world's culture and countries, a testament to their universal appeal and nutritional benefits. Musa Baba Aliyu, Nta News.
Ministry of Steel Development is planning a one-month boot camp training for youths to empower them with advanced technical skills in welding and fabrication, equipment support for business growth, including job creation and sustainable livelihood. Those eligible are the ones between ages 18 and 40. An interested applicant should log on to the ministry's website on www.msd.gov.ng. Application closes on the 30th of October 2024. The Minister of State Development, Uba Megari Amadu, was in the studio earlier to speak on the goals of the boot camp. Actually informed this initiative.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. What really informed this is our drive as a ministry to make contributions towards nation building. We all know that no nation actually develops industrially without first of all taking care of its steel sector. And having said that, we at the ministry conceived, in fact, this is directly off my desk, we conceived this idea of a program to basically train Nigerian youths, artisanal welders, those who have already started learning the trade, and those who are interested in learning the trade of welding. And we are focusing now on 1,000. We actually planned to take 10,000 young people, but of course we have competing demands and budgetary constraints. That's why we ended up with 1,000, and eventually we are only able to take in 700 on this stretch. What we intend to do is to assemble them in Onitsha. You probably have heard about the Metallurgical Training Institute, MTI, a specialist school that was set up during the Shagari regime, basically to train middle cadre professionals to service the steel sector. We intend to assemble them and train them like you rightly said in the forerunner, in metal fabrication, systems and control, instrumentation, foundries, mechanical maintenance, and issues like that.
On health, Nigeria is on her way to ending all crises relating to slow public health emergency response through legislative reforms. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare Ali Party and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention are engaging the Senate Committee on Primary Health Care and Disease Control to introduce a public health emergency response bill that will bring in the capacity to fight public health emergencies and strengthen the CDC.
This review in the context of the intellectual property regime that allows us to foster innovation, that allows even our scientists their own knowledge, their own research to be protected so that it's not also filtered and somewhere else for someone to have the benefit. So I want to put it on the table of the legislature to also consider contingency financing.
We're looking at environmental surveillance because you need to look at air pollution, water pollution, a sewage system, wastewater. If we don't go through surveillance of that, this is where we can catch a lot of this happening here.
Chairman Senate Committee on Primary Health Care and Disease Control, Tony Nwoye, admitted that the legislative gap in tackling public health emergency in Nigeria needs urgent attention.
Developing evidence-based legislative reforms, allocate sufficient resources and funding for public health initiatives, support research and innovation in healthcare systems. Finally, we should ensure that there is effective implementation and monitoring of reforms.
Stakeholders are seeking immediate legislative reforms for increased funding for emergency preparedness in the country. In other news, the Chief of Army Staff has inaugurated a Nigerian Army Forward Operating Base in Egbe, Kogi State, aimed at strengthening security ties between Kogi, Ekiti and Kwara State. Ajibola Christopher reports that the facility was donated by Senator Sunday Karimi, who represents Kogi West Senatorial District at the National Assembly. And here's the report.
The rise in banditry, kidnapping and armed robbery along the highways and forests bordering Kogi, Ekiti and Kwara states prompted the construction of the Forward Operating Base in Egbe, Yagba West local government area. The facility was donated by Senator Sunday Karimi, representing Kogi West Senatorial District. It features 2 hostel blocks with 92 furnace rooms, a central kitchen, an administrative block, commander's quarters, officers' mess, mini cells, CCTV and Wi-Fi for enhanced communication.
The main objective of this project is to ensure security of lives and properties of our people. This will not only serve Egbe, as we've said, even the military men said it, is going to serve the entire Kogi.
During an inspection, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, represented by Major General Obina Onubogu, thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his leadership in safeguarding the nation. He reaffirmed the Army's commitment to tackling security challenges, particularly in Kogi State, while upholding the Constitution. The Chief of Army Staff commended Senator Karimi for his support and assured that the base will be used for its intended purpose of protecting lives and property in the region.
In particular, this forward operating base will support our efforts at stopping and deterring bandits, criminals, gun runners, and other criminals who operate along the forests and rivers adjoining Kogi and Kwara states. To this end, I want to assure the distinguished senator and the good people of Egwe and Kogi state that this facility will be used for the purpose for which it was constructed.
He urged the troops to remain vigilant against emerging threats. Goodwill messages from leaders also praised the initiative as a milestone for Yagbaland.
MPC hubs on partnership to develop population data in the country. These and more stories after this break. National Population Commission (NPC) is open to local and foreign partnerships that will drive development of population data generation to aid national planning. NPC Chairman Nasir Isakwara, while delivering a paper titled The Power of Partnerships, Co-Developing Population Data for National Planning at the 10th anniversary of the World Pauper in Southampton, United Kingdom, explains that Nigeria is with an estimated population exceeding 200 million. Therefore, harnessing collective strengths of key players through strategic partnership is not just advantageous, but indispensable. Kwara underscores accurate population data as a backbone for resource allocation and policy formulation across vital sectors, as he called for a continued collaboration on accurate data-driven responses. And the need for Nigerians to protect national symbols which serve as the country's identity and sovereignty has again been brought to the fore. This was at a stakeholders meeting on National Values Charter and National Anthem at the instance of the National Orientation Agency. Uteb Achibong reports.
The meeting, which brought together stakeholders, including primary and secondary school students from sister agencies, created atmosphere to critically analyze the new national anthem and chart a way forward to ensure that the national values and anthem get to all the nooks and crannies of the state, especially the rural communities. For the organizers, the rationale behind the introduction of the new national anthem is to foster the spirit of patriotism and appeal to all the stakeholders to take it to their people, make them see the need to embrace the National Values Charter and the national anthem.
The National Identity Map project is a project we believe is value orientation, and we are awakening the consciousness of who we are.
According to the National Orientation Agency, it is only the first stanza of the national anthem that is to be taken in any function where necessary. The third stanza is to be recited as a prayer, while the three stanzas are to be sung during national observances, including Workers' Day, Independence Day, Armed Forces Remembrance Day, among others.
It is that Noah is actually coming up to restore the dignity and standardization of the symbols that we have in Nigeria. The symbols are the image position of a country.
The event featured goodwill messages and interactive session in Uyo Utebe Achibong, Nta News.
The Methodist Church in Abuja has marked its 40th anniversary in a grand Thanksgiving service, bringing together congregants and political leaders to meditate on 4 decades of faith, fellowship and community service. President Bola Tinubu, in a message delivered at the anniversary, urged the church to collaborate with government in building a Nigeria that reflects collective aspirations of its people. Ekene Ndolue reports.
With a theme centered around gratitude and service, the anniversary celebration highlighted the achievements of the Methodist Church in Abuja. Prelate of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Oliver Abba, urged Nigerians not to lose hope in the government, but to look forward with hope and determination.
When we join hands together, pray for one another, understanding where all of us are going, Nigeria will be great, because Nigeria has a pride of place in the map of the world because of our population.
It was an opportunity to honor those who have served meritoriously in various capacities. Former military head of state General Yakubu Gowon and former President Olusegun Obasanjo were conferred with the titles of Knights of John Wesley, while President Bola Tinubu, represented by the FCT minister among other leaders, were recognized for their contributions to national growth.
The church can be a platform for social transformation, where individuals come together to enact change, promote peace, and uplift the people.
If we call the name of God and we go humbly before God and we really show remorse and pray to God, God will heal our land.
And let us continue to believe in our faith, that it is a faith that ensures, that bring about peace and love.
As the festivities continued, the Methodist Church in Abuja says it looks forward to continuing its mission of service and spiritual enrichment for many years to come. Ekene Ndolue, Nta News.
Now, the old-time religion, which allows for prayers and fellowship or following of leaders with the truth, has been described as a way to salvage Nigeria at the crossroads. President Nigerian Baptist Convention, Reverend Israel Adelani Akonji, made the submission at the Glory Land Baptist Church 20th anniversary on the theme, The Church at the Nation, on a Crossroads. Deborah Balagbobo reports.
The Glory Land Baptist Church Lugbe congregation has everything to be grateful to God for, following the great work and ministry embarked upon since 2004.
Nearer, my God, to thee, nearer to thee. Now, telling the story of this church, like I told you, it was both sweet and bitter. Very difficult, but highly rewarding. So I give all the glory to God, and the theme for this celebration is grace alone to me.
And I must tell you, I'm so humbled today. I'm humbled as always. When I see this, I'm humbled.
Taking a tour of the well-established edifice of the church, the groundbreaking of the secondary school block, and dedication of the church building complex, President of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, Reverend Israel, commended the church for putting up God's glory in the church complex, despite the economic reality of the country.
Part of the task of the church is to be praying for kings, for rulers, for those in authority. It is a direct instruction. And if the church should be doing that as expected, definitely a lot of things will change. When you are doing that, you make God happy. You make God know that the nation has not been handed over to the people. The nation is still his own.
You can see the enormity of the work that these people of God are doing in this place. It is quite amazing. And I can say that they are leaving behind a very big shoe for me to wear.
I would like to thank God Almighty for fulfilling his promise upon this church.
The anniversary also featured a symposium on the theme of the celebration, the church in a nation at a crossroad.
The church must begin to intentionally raise leaders. The problems we see in Nigeria today, the church is the solution to it. That is why God has put us here.
Christians are among the Nigerian elites who are often exploited the poverty and ignorance of the majority of our people and cashed in on the existing ethno-religious antipathies and polarities for blind and selfish political and economic ambition.
They urge the church to continue to remain steadfast in prayers for the church and nation at large. In Abuja, Deborah Balabu, Nta News.
The Super Eagles chartered aircraft has been granted permission to fly out of Libya, and the players resolved not to honor Tuesday's 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match for encounter against the Mediterranean Knights after the ordeal they have undergone since Sunday afternoon at the hands of the Libyan authorities. The Nigerian Football Federation refused attempt by the Libyan authorities to issue a pre-clearance to land in Benghazi first before they fly to Nigeria, and the players and the officials are already on their way back to Nigeria. The Confederation of African Football is expected to take firm action on this incident. That's the news. Thanks for watching. I'm Comfort Amadu.